So hi everybody, it's Jane from Living Skies Vintage. I need a few more background and painty paper, so I thought to continue my Nat Geographic experiments and my dye paper experiments, that I'm going to try also some gel printing with them. So why don't you come along and see where this is going to take me. Now, if you like this, and before we get going, would you please be so gracious as to give me a thumbs up and even subscribe. I really do appreciate everybody that comes by to see me, and if you'd like to see more of the crazy things that I might do, keep coming. So let's get going with this. This is my gel plate. It looks worse than it is because it's actually on plastic, another sheet of plastic inside. Sorry for the big cracking that I stored on, and those have gotten a little stained over time. So I'm just going to pull this side off. It looks pretty good. All the rest of that's on the other plastic on the other side. So I'm just going to set that over here with this. It's a hot day today, so I'm trying to stay in the shade. Otherwise, I don't think these paints are going to work. So here is some of my painty papers that I did, and I did a little bit of distress paint on there and some fluorescent ink. So this might turn out really interesting. And then I got this kind of a really old book, and well, the pictures aren't great, so I don't mind if I just kind of cover them all up. They're more like wartime pictures. Oh, the paper just wants to stick to the gel plate. And then I've got some plain old graph paper that has some colors on it. So why don't we get going? And oh, I got a big pail of water. I also have some botanicals here that I've pulled from my garden, my multi-extensive garden. There's my roller that I'm looking for. And should we try? Oh, I also have some of this tissue paper to use and some regular copy paper. Oh, and that's the other thing I forgot to pull out in this little stack. Here it is. I've got a couple of pieces of Nat Geo paper that I want to try and experiment and see if this ink that I've moved will now get lifted and put on the plate. So let's see if that happens. And I'll try it on those painty papers first, and we'll just see what goes on. So I hope everybody's doing well and likes seeing some of these crazy things that I do. Now, what should I lift that black off to begin with? Well, let's put a lighter color down, so I'm gonna see what it is to start with. Maybe what we'll do is we'll start with kind of a light aqua green on the plate, and then I'll lay that on top of it, and we'll see if we get a print from that, okay? If I remember how to do this correctly, I believe that we put, I'm just going to shake these up because they've been sitting for a while. I believe that the process, if I remember correctly, and I did not check before I started this, is that I put a nice even layer, not too thick, not too thin, on my gel plate, and then I let this sit for a bit, and hopefully, that might be too much. Hopefully, I do have some roll-off paper too. We'll just take some of this copy paper that I brought. That looks like a good roll-off to start with. Okay, and maybe we'll put the roll-off on this side because I'm naturally right-handed. Okay. And I'll take this in hand. So here we go. See if we can get this layer on there. So how's everybody doing? It's Sunday. It's a beautiful day out. Last I checked, it was 19 degrees Celsius, so that puts us in the like low 70s. Yeah. So it looks like I've got a pretty decent coverage there. I like that color. Now let's see. Okay, here's like mostly print and black. So let's see what happens when I do this. I'm gonna put that there, like that. And then I'm gonna take this little roll-off sheet that I have. I'm just gonna take off the rest of this. My hands are like awful right now because, well, I've been doing all this dyeing and printing and everything, and like no nails, no nothing. So, okay, set that aside, and we'll just kind of wait a little bit and see how this goes. Now I believe that you're kind of supposed to wait a few minutes, but I'll see if anything soaks in and soaks up, because I think it's the moisture going into the paper that allows the print to come off. So I'm just hoping to wait a little bit. Still, I can feel that the paper is cool. I can also feel that it's starting to buckle, which usually means it's absorbing some of the moisture. This may be a complete flop because it's the Nat Geographic magazine, but if it is, I don't mind. I chose this particular one because it was mostly text and the picture didn't really turn out too great. So it was one of my not so great ones. Okay. I don't think that it's certainly not doing anything right now, but then my plate also hasn't warmed up yet. So let's see what I can do. We'll set that over there. It's not too bad. I could possibly just even use that as an underlay. I can see the pattern under there, which is kind of cool. We'll set that there. Let's try. I didn't bring too many of those out. Let's just give up some stencils here first and see what happens with those. Maybe do some splats of color on the old plate. Okay. I usually have much more success with stencils than I do with other things. So we'll see how all this goes. We'll stick with this green color for now. That's a flower stencil I picked up. I think it was a package of 10. Anyways, we're gonna put a little bit. Oh, I like it when it has this copper and turquoise is always nice together. So this is some ink. Did I bring my spray bottles out? No, I did not. Okay, that's fine. We can just put a little bit on here. Do this. That's kind of interesting, actually, what it's doing. It's kind of bubbling up more than anything else. But let's do a little more. Okay. See how that goes. Yeah, I think I like that. I think I'm going to put that all over, and then I'm going to put the pick it up with the turquoise. I think that's going to look pretty cool. So we'll do that. Kind of that coppery rose gold look it's going to do. I'm going to pick it up with that, but I'm also going to put, that's a light aqua. Let's put a little bit of like more of a true turquoise on it too. Okay. Just a tiny bit. I'm using my better paints this time. I used a set of acrylic paints that I've had that were a little, let's just say bargain basement. When I was doing my gel printing the last time, things didn't turn out quite as well as I would have liked. So here we are again, trying to get some images. So I'm gonna pull this across here. And I haven't pulled that stencil up yet because that ink dried. So I think what I'd like to do is pull the stencil up and then go over it all. What do you think, with a black or a white? Or even a silver? No, I think I'm going to pick it up with a black. Black or a darker blue. Or a dark green. Black. I'm going to go black for now. We'll just stick these under there. This is drying at the moment. Paint's drying pretty fast. Sorry if I'm shaking you all when I roll. Okay, so let's see if I can get this off without making too much of a mess. Hold on. I have some little styluses in here that will help. There we go. Lift that up. Pull that off. Oh, it worked out pretty good. I like that. Like that. Don't you? I'm going to throw that in my water because the acrylic will build up on even those stencils. I've used ink on them before. Now, use black on this. This should be pretty dry. It seems to be pretty dry. It's hot out here. Well, it's warm. Let's shake this black up. What paper should I put it on? Well, since this is more of a solid painting instead of just trying to lift the oven, see what I can put on this tissue paper. Sorry. So I want my tissue paper ready, and here goes with the black. Now this, like I say, it dries fast, so I don't want to dilly-dally too much once I get this on. Roller. Did I put enough on? Hope so. A little more. Might have been too much, but we'll see. Maybe it'll be just enough to get it all up. So I set myself up outside. This is an old tray that I got on top of a bit of a kind of a workbench that we put some garden tools and that on, which has some shelves underneath it, which is working just fine for me to put some stuff underneath there while I'm working. Now, I think let's just put this down before it gets too dry. Okay. And it covers it all except for I missed the corner up here, so I'll just dab that off so I'm not getting it on anybody, on me. Alright. So I'll let that dry a little bit. I can tell that that's very damp still underneath. So how's everybody doing? I hope you're having a great day. Like I say, I don't know, you can't see the sun on my hand out there, but it's hot. I'm standing in the shade. And I hope you can see everything. There, I should move that up just a little more, eh? That's better. Keep pulling that down a little bit. Need to make a mark. Also, I think what I'm going to try and do is, not with this one. This one's real tiny, but I have some bigger ends and tips. I thought I'd make some marks on my gel plate after I put some other paint on it. Maybe we'll lift it with this one, put some other colors, and then lift it with that. And that can be as a torn up piece in my magazine, in my collages. Let's see. Let me just see how this is doing. Oh, look. It's working really good. Oh, I like this paper. I like this paper. Look at that. Oh, it's delicate, but look how that turned out. Nice. I like that. I like that. There's a bit of a sheen to it. I don't know if you can see it with the copper behind the copper ink behind the blue. That turned out really nice. I like that. It's like almost dry in this heat. So I'm just gonna stick it down here on my shelf underneath something else. And I like that it's left these marks. So let's see if I can put something else on here, and then we'll lift it with this one. So I don't want to draw marks directly on my gel plate. I want the paint on it first, and then I want really, oh yeah, let's just use the circles, which is kind of fun. Okay, these I can just kind of make little spots of if I like. And I'm gonna put paint on this, and then I'm gonna put this on in a couple of spots and lift it with one of my other papers, and then I'm gonna put another color on and try and lift it with this. How does that sound? Interesting. Oh yes, I want to try and lift. I'll put some of those dots on one of these papers. Phew! Okay, the sun was catching up to me and I had to move, or all of these were just going to be too dry too fast. So I'm taking off the flowers. Oh, I should have maybe left that one on there a little longer and used that to get more of the flower. Yeah, that's better. Get more of the flower kind of on the plate. Before I pull it away. And this is a big leaf. Oh, that's a nice one. Just gonna stick that there and stick it on my turquoise thing that from my Nat Geo page. Seems like things are just gonna stick on there for a while. Wow, okay, I like that. So I got black, and I have some of these other colors underneath. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take out the gold. Okay, I got the gold. I also got some more acrylic ink and some distress spray stain. I want to put a little bit of acrylic ink on here, not too much. Ooh, drop that. Okay, I'm not going to spread it too much. I'm going to let the distress spray stain spread it out a little bit. Ink's trying to stick mostly to the acrylic paint from what I can see. So I'm going to put that there and that there and that there like that. I don't think I'm going to put any paint on this. I think I'm just going to take a... Which sheet should I take? Should I take a clean white sheet or should I take one of my prints here? Or my papers. Let's do this one because I want to cover this up anyways. And I think, yeah, doesn't really matter what side I put it on. Other side is pretty bad. Other side is like, not for me. And then maybe when I put the paper on, some of that will spread out a bit. So let's try that. No, paper isn't going to cover it all. I want to cover it all. Maybe the ink will just turn out to be a great big blob, but that's okay too. You know, this paper is a little fragile, so you can see how that's coming through. Let's see. Okay, there's still lots left on there, and that's not quite dry, but that I like. Let's just take this the way it is. For that, I like that on there. I can get another print off of that, that's for sure. I'm just gonna hide this behind here on the rack so it'll just sit. That should stay. Well, let's see what's going on here. So I've got some leaf still left. I think what I'd like to do is just take a plain white piece of paper and get this one. Let's get this better paper, not the copy paper. This one's a little thicker. And I'm going to put the gold behind it. So let's do this. This isn't dry yet. I want more purple ink on here than there is. It wasn't going to come off the acrylic paint, so let's see if I can do this. It doesn't matter if it coats all the way. I just want to be able to see. I can see that it's there. That just pulls way too much of it out. What if I use my stylus on instead? Let's try that. Then I can have marks in here too. Well, that's not going to spread it very easily. Hold on. I'm going to go with this, but just sorry, I'm being quiet and I'm thinking about what I'm doing. I'm trying to kind of just, I don't know if you can see, just barely move ink so I can see it, because when you just roll it out, there's nothing there, or it doesn't appear to be anything there. So I'm doing this to not only get some marks, but also to help it dry, because it's just sitting there in a big blob. It's not going to dry ever. So we'll give that a few minutes and see what happens. We'll be back in a bit. Okay, well, I think that's dry now. I went and stood in the sun for a couple minutes. Doesn't take long. There's barely any clouds in the sky, that's for sure. All right. Now, I thought I was maybe going to take the flowers and make them yellow, but I'm just going to do everything in gold. This is a very yellowy gold. There we go. And I've got a nice piece of paper that I want to do all of this on. And there's my ruler. Keep you there. Whoop. Come back. Come back. And let's get rolling. Has this paint separated too? I don't know. Looking the best, is it? And that's Liquitex. I'm gonna let that dry. I might need to put another layer of something on, but I'm gonna let that one dry before I try and lift it. I'll put another layer on to lift. Maybe I'll use my other gold. I have a artist loft, but I thought the Liquitex would be much better. Yeah, I was going to make some marks in this one again too. I can see how that's going to come off for sure. I have an inspiration to make a tree, or somewhat a semblance of a tree. Anyways, let's see how this works. And I'm just going to put a gold back on it again. Maybe that'll just come out in a better, higher consistency with the gold. I want to be subtle anyways. Come on. There we go. Make sure you got lots. And get that out of the way, and let's get this on, and then get the paper down. Oh, the lines show up. Okay, put that here. Paper down. This is a little different quality, what they call resume paper. I pick all my paper up at the thrift store. So, you know, when you're doing stuff like this, you might as well just pay a few dollars. I really like this transfer paper though. The result that I got there at the beginning. That's going to be really nice. But I think I want something maybe with a little less color on it, just to see if I can do that. So I'm going to try that before I go too. So let's just clean off this plate. Maybe put the leaves down and put a color behind it. Let me think. I got some copper over there too, some copper paint, not just copper ink. And then maybe I could put it on the music paper. Oh, this is looking nice. I like this. Ooh, look, there's my squiggles. There's the green from the last thing. Ooh, I like that. I like how that turned out. Love all the color in there. And look at, see how the ink kind of stayed stronger? If I had just left it the way it was, you barely see it in the background here, where I'd put it all over. But that worked out well. Let's just put that down here with this pile and figure out what we're going to do with this. So I want to use the tracing paper again. I want to use my leaves again. Now if I put, maybe I'll put the copper down and then it'll be a little bit of gold on here, which would be nice. I could do a bit of both. Oh, look, 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 look. Look at how that Nat Geographic page, I had my leaves stuck down there while I was waiting. There we go. A couple of those prints. I'm going to try that again with these bigger leaves, I think, because they give you such a nice veiny look once you get your paper down. Off of there. Oh, it doesn't matter what paper you put down, it wants to stick. Okay. Put those stencils on top of that, put my leaves over there, and I'm going to grab my copper paint. What happens when you put distress over your, well, I guess after it dries it would be okay. Let's see what I'll do. I'm going to put the leaves down with this, which I need to shake a little bit. So let's put a little bit of this on here. Now I want to use my transfer paper, but that's for the last print. So for this print, it's having a good time. Let's grab another piece of solid paper. The other, yep, that one. That'll do. Put you down there. So we'll lift this first one with this. After I put the leaves down, I'm going to use this piece of paper to blot it. So, leaf. Almost lost it. Leaf. And leaf. And flower. And flower. You can do that like with this. And this is not even an old music book. This is out of a music magazine, and it has like music pages in the back that are just this lovely paper. So hey, just another thing that you can use. So hey, there's some marks on there. Those will get enhanced yet. So let's stick something on that before it goes away. And the other thing I want to grab is my towel again. And I want to take off a little bit more of this before I do anything else. Push that down, get that there. Get that paint off in between the leaves. Now I guess if I'm going to put distress on here, I really need to make sure that this acrylic is dry. I'm going to take this other piece of paper I have here. It's got a little bit of a leaf on it. But I'm going to take these things off. This is the last one I put on. It should be the first one off. I'm just going to put them on here for now. I don't know that much came off either of those except for their stems. Take this guy, stick him there, roll on him. He's not very wet anymore. Then we'll take this guy, see how much wet is left on him. I don't know. Doesn't seem to be. A little bit. And then we'll see how this guy does. I'm gonna stick him down there. Sorry, you guys are all shaking away and I'm not paying any attention. So just kind of show you what I was up to here. You see there's a few faint impressions of the leaves in there. That'll work out to be another page. And there's back to my other roll-off sheet. So what did I say I was going to do with this? I was going to lift this. And then I was going to see if, this paper, wasn't it? There you go. There it is. Lift this with maybe a very light, no, I was going to distress it. That's right. And then I was going to put this paper on. Thanks for reminding me, guys. I mean it. I'm sure you were yelling at me. Let me see, it just works. It's gonna work. Is this little nose? fingernails all, my fingers are all wet. There he is. There he is. Let's see what I get. I put this on there. Yeah. So I'll lift it, and then maybe I can distress it too. No. If I sprinkle water on it, all of this distress hopefully will also activate again. Oh, well, it's not pulling off a lot of paint. Okay, that does not work. That does not work. It pulled off a little bit of paint, so I'll do something with this. You can see there's a little bit of paint like right there and down there, and I can see some leaves, but I'll do something else with that. So let's see, we'll let this dry again. We'll have to put some other kind of paint on it, I guess, to get it all off. So what am I gonna use? Well, I got something purple, I got something gold and black, and let's see, turquoisey. What do I need? I don't have anything, well, I don't have anything kind of neutral, but that's not me. I'm not a neutral person. I'll use my just papers for that. So let's do something. Pick this up in black, I think would be nice. And then once this is warmed up, I'll do one more try on my Nat Geo and see if that's going to lift it all. Whoops, sorry people, sorry. Didn't mean to do that. And yeah, that doesn't work well. I've got a few more papers to work with. I can't do 20-30 papers at a time. I don't know about you. I like to do things in smaller batches, mainly because when I have too many of one thing, I don't know what to do with it, or it just gets too much to go through it. This weekend, I was cleaning up my art room, taking out papers that I had stored probably since 2019. I said to myself, if you haven't used them yet, you're not going to use them now. You keep finding more interesting things to use, obviously, than these things that have been stuck in your art cupboard for so long. So, and a lot of it was just used paper and stuff, so it went into the what's my paper towel? Oh, it decided to run away, I think. I'll find it. It's in the yard somewhere. Ah, there it is. Anyways, so we'll see. Get that down. I need this, and I'm going to let's do another music sheet to get this up. Yeah, easy guitar sheet, because it'll lift it all except for the part that I always miss. But that's okay, that can come up on another one. Should have put it on that music sheet. That's okay. Now see, now this distress is drying a little bit. I can see more of the coppery paint did stick to it. So it'll be interesting when I spray this again to see how it reacts, the distress spray reacts with the acrylic paint on it. So use Nat Geo pages, remain to be seen. Certainly dyed papers. This has become somewhat of a roll-off sheet, but I kind of like it. And yeah, I'm really happy with, there's another dyed paper. It worked just fine. Gave it a different kind of background color than it would have had originally. Gave it a pinky color instead of a white. So your colors will show up differently on those papers. There's my music paper that I used, and that's a complete acrylic lift on that one. Only got a little bit of the notes in the background. I need to make it either less opaque or just leave more open spots when I use my papers like that. I've seen people spray water on their acrylic paint too, to see how that does. Now I like how this is turning out, don't you? Still some paint on there. Look at those leaves though. Look how that turned out. Love that. Love that. Love that. That'll work out really great. Now, I want to try one more try at the Nat Geo and see what happens now that my plate is used up. Been used a number of times. I have another Nat Geo page. I just don't think that this is going to work because other magazines though are shiny like this, but this Nat Geo works with the Goo Gone or the Citrusol because it's different than other magazines. So, well, it's worth a try. I'm just gonna use. Let me see. I can't use black. I'm gonna have to use white. How about we just use some silver? Silver. And then if it turns out bad, I'll have maybe some drawn marks behind it too. Well, that's a little much. All the other ones came out slow. Oh boy. Okay, that's a lot of paint. I'm gonna do some silver leaves with this paint before I do the Nat Geo. I have to. There's just too much paint on here. Okay. Leaves, where'd you go? Oh, I want these guys. I'll put you guys down. And I want this guy like that. How did big one go here? This guy like that. Okay. I'm gonna take this paper again because didn't get a lot on it anyways, and I'm still gonna experiment with the distress and see how it changes. Well, this won't get a lot of paint. I don't think it will. Okay, just took off some of the edges more than anything else. Put that down there, and then I'm gonna play with this a little more again. See, the wind is blowing things. I'm just trying to get a another piece of paper out of here to lie these leaves on, so that I can I don't think that that's gonna do anything, but this one might, so you can go right you can go right here. You look at all those veins. I love leaf prints. They're my favorite, actually, I have to say, because they're so easy to do and they turn out so beautiful. And then if you're lucky, you can do get these reverse prints afterwards if the paint's wet enough. So we'll just let that sit for a little bit. Wow. Okay, so this is going to be a lot of silver. Yeah, mostly silver with some of the other colors. So I think what I'm going to do is I will take, do I like more purple again? Nope. I think what I want to do is I'm going to get some red. Oh no, the red is not good, was it? So this is the true turquoise. So my turquoise kind of turned to that light aqua. So we'll try this again. Because that was in good shape. Yeah. Get paint all over myself and everywhere. So if you do the same thing, don't feel bad. Hear everything dropping off my makeshift table. Stop that. Don't forget the corners. Don't forget your corners. Okay, what am I doing with this? One's going to be a clean white sheet. Let's try this one. It's got a little bit of silver on the back, but that ain't going to matter. Because after this, we're doing the Nat Geo thing with the silver again, but not so much. Oh, there we go. You know, you can just always feel your paper, especially this copy paper, is really easy to tell. And it's probably the easiest thing to do this with. But it's easy to tell if your paper's absorbing the paint, because you can feel it. And it dries fast. Okay, so let's put the Nat Geo on a piece of white paper also. So I'm going to get that ready. Yeah. Right here. Use this one. Okay. And do I have the Nat Geo image here? I should. It's in my pile a second ago. Oh, I think I stuck it over here, didn't I? Yes, I did. Okay. Alright, so that's feeling it's doing a good job. let's see. Ooh, what we got. Ooh, I like this. There, see? I like that. I always like the little grunge in my pages. Oh, come on. There we go. Look at that. Look at those leaves in silver, blue and silver. Love it. And then the extra grunge from the rest of it. So I'm going to see if I can put the Nat Geo paper down and then lift it with white. Oh, and I said I wanted to do a tissue paper too, didn't I? So maybe I'll do one more tissue with the leaves. After I do this lift from the Nat Geo. So here we go. A little more black for the Nat Geo. Is that going to lift it? No, that's not the black. Nope, not black. Not black. I was using silver. I want the black ink to get absorbed. And I can't tell if it's all black. Oops, sorry. Smacked you again. Sorry about that. Come here. Okay. Gotta put more than one thing on something. All right. Let's try this. And I got my Nat Geo page there. So we're just gonna put a thin layer of ink on. I think is how they recommend. Put that there. Put this here. Wow. Get some of this up. And we'll see if the Nat Geo absorbs any of the paint. Of course, the ink absorbs any of the paint, I guess I should say. I'm not too sure about this. I kind of doubt it, frankly. It just, the paper just feels so smooth to me. It feels smoother even, well, it's definitely different than even other high fashion magazines, which I've tried before. Some of them have worked, some of them not. Sometimes it's the advertisements that work the best. I don't know why. So let's see. I think this is just going to be a big silver sheet of paper. Yeah. All it's doing is taking the paint off where it was completely. So I'd say trying to transfer the ink from a Nat Geo page to another page is a fail. But you know what? I don't mind seeing that through there. I could probably use this in my collage. So it's not completely a fail. Let's try one last thing. Oh yes, I was going to do my leaves on tissue paper. And what color should I do them in? Should I do them in gold? I got a couple little bits of them on there. I've got the black and the bronze there, and I've got a big amount of silver. So maybe what I'll do is I'll just take a sheet of my tissue paper, and we'll go with gold. We'll go with gold. There's just a little sheet. I don't like to waste my papers. Some of them can be a little expensive. Those I spent a little money on, so. But I keep my eyes open for things when I can get them, like I say, at the thrift store. I just don't find tracing paper or that thin of a paper that often. I just found some watercolor paper for like $5. You know, that's not bad. You know, when you think about it, you pay 20, 30, $40 for a huge pad because it was a 15 by 17. So, and it was Strathmore, I think. So not a terrible brand. Anyways, let's do some leaves on the tissue paper. Now, should I make gold leaves? Gold background with, no, I want to do a blue. I want to do a green background. Green background. That's a lot of green. I want more gold than that. Might do gold and then lift with copper. Let's try that. There. Because I'll take that other sheet going. There it is. I'll use this again to blot off the leaves around it. The paper around the leaves. Paint around the leaves. Goodness. And then we'll lift it with bronze or the copper, and the leaves will come out kind of gold in the gold background. The veins in the leaves will be gold, I should say. There. And here. And let's get some leaves down. Let's do it this way. See if it makes a difference. Needs to. They're both going the same way, which is really not what I like. Let me see. Do I have that? Got that there. So let's do this again with this piece of paper, which will be different spots. I'm going to put them over on this. See, I picked up that black and some copper leaf veins there before. We'll do that. Ooh, interesting. Oh, God, that gold is drying fast. Holy, I don't know. We'll see. It will take things off, that's for sure. There we go. All right. Now, last one. Yeah, taking it off with the copper. The basis of the surrounding area will be copper, and the leaves, our surrounding area will be gold, and the leaves will be copper on this one. Which on the black one, it was more, I had let the leaves be black. So let's see how this goes. And then we're going to put it on the transfer paper. Probably could use more paint. because I don't think it's going to lift. It's just drying too fast. There we go. Sorry, I hit you again. When I shake that, I'm sorry. There, that'll be better. Alright, here we go. That, get this. There. Lie that down. All right. I'm hoping to get a really nice pull off of this. Don't want to end on the Nat Geo failure pull. Yes, so I threw the leaves down on this paper again. Oh, and they got stuck. They've been stuck for a minute. So, you know, I'll tear off a lot of this and just use that for a background. That'll be nice. Just subtle. It's got some color in there. I've got some other papers here that are maybe not so subtle. Like this roll off. I'm just letting that dry a little more. That roll off. I've got this other one here that once I finish, I'll see what happens with the distress spray. I got Painty leaves, but I think they're going to go in the garbage. This will probably end up being something else that I can use. Those are a couple of stencils. Look at how that turned out. That was my first Nat Geo page that didn't turn out, that I just painted over. And then, I'm just going to leave that there. If I have anything, I've got some roll-off pages in here that I'll probably, you know, cut up just because. And let's see what else I got here. So there's that last Nat Geo page. It still has some interesting texture, you know, once you see it in the light. So I might use, I'll still tear it up. And then we've got here on the music paper, some leaves, not leaves. And the first to kind of warm up on the music paper, getting a lot of paint off and on. Let's see, oh, a couple down here yet. Here we go. This one, and this one, and this one. Okay, that's just a roll-off paper, but I like how there's a leaf on there. I'm gonna try and take some of that. There's the turquoise and silver leaf set that we did. That turned out really nice. There's my first onion skin that I used just a transfer on that. So that'll be nice. And there on my colored note paper, this is my dyed paper. Just did a little bit on there, and then that's just on a more of a resume type of paper. I did some on this one. I did some squiggles on the gel plate before I put the paper down, so you can kind of see how they turned out in the background here, which is kind of interesting. And then I just have this one to do, and I forgot that I was going to leave a little less paint on it because I wanted to have it more transparent. But maybe we'll have to do another onion skin. Oh, come on. Ooh. Yes, we'll definitely do another onion skin. Oh, it's ripping a little bit that way. Ooh. That's what happens when you leave them for too long, I think. They get sticky and they don't want to come off. It's all right. That's all right. That's all right. I can get that off. Almost. There. It's kind of stuck to my gel plate, that piece of paper. There we go. So it's left the gel plate with a beautiful pattern. And there's what came up with the leaves that I had on there. Didn't turn out too much. You can see a little bit of the gold. Let's see if I can get one more transfer, or not transfer, onion skin on that. Wonder. I'm gonna put a little purple on there. Ooh, what if I just put some ink on there and tried that? What if I just did that to see if it would lift? I've got the purple right here. Because I don't want to have a lot of color on this onion skin. I want to be able to see a lot of transparency. So, see if I do this, and I just make that kind of wet with all that luscious purple. Will it allow me to pick up the paint that's there? If not, it'll leave a lovely purple stain on this piece of onion paper, right? There we go. So let's try. I have one more piece out here with me, so if this doesn't work, I'll go back to paint. Now this is not wet strength either. This is just, I think, just like an accountant type paper. So I'm not going to let it sit as long as I did the last time. It's getting some of it, but not all of it, but that's kind of interesting. I think I am willing to put something else. That's left me with a lovely transparent, which is what I was going for, with something more transparent. I'm going to try that again with ink. I've got different ink out here. I actually have some white ink out here. Now this is not pearlescent, but the purple is. There's still some purple on there. And there's still some of the acrylic paint on there. So let's see what happens. Okay. This is the fun part. Let's see what happens. It's play. Luckily my leg was on that piece of paper. Oh, there we go. That piece of onion skin tried to get away. So I'm going to do this. That's probably enough. The wind's just picking up a bit. Hold on. Do this, do that. Hold on to that onion paper that I have. Let's see if I can. You can see the white ink, how it distributes itself on the plate. I'll let that dry. And then I'm going to put some purple paint behind it, because I don't think it's going to lift. I'm going to go stand in the sunlight for just a second. So I'll be right back. Okay, you can see the sunshine's catching up on me again. It's right here. I already moved once, and look, it's catching up on me. So this will be my last one. I'm gonna pull it with the I think the copper paint. Oops, struck my roller. Hold on. There we go. All's well. Yes, with the copper paint. And then see how that goes, because the inks aren't lifting it, so I'm gonna need a little paint. So I'm gonna put that there. Don't want the white, I want the copper. And I'm just gonna put a little light coat on it. Hopefully it won't cover so well. There. See how that does. Have my thin paper ready. Okay, that looks not too bad. I just want enough on there. Oh, the white's moving. Okay. It's moving the white ink, but that's fine. We'll just do this. And we'll do this. And we'll see how all that turns out. Hopefully I'll get some nice markings again. Kind of more what I'm looking for. I don't have to have any distinct images, usually. I'll find those myself or make them myself. So here we go. It's been a little while now. I can't. What's it been? An hour? Oh, almost 2 hours of play. Okay. Well, this will be the last one. I already showed you the rest of what I had. Ooh, I like this. And actually, I'll do one more pull on just paper. But this is turning out delightful with the white ink and the paper that was there already. Look at that, nice. Just, you know, I've got so many dark colors, so many intense colors that I wanted something a little less intense. And what have I got for paper again? Anything else? I have, let's see, I've got another copy sheet because that'll actually work out best. Nope. Nope, these are all resume sheets. So let's put this, tell you what, we'll put it right on here. We'll put it right on this one right there. Okay, get a little more paint on it though first. And let's try then. We'll do this. And just, ooh, that came out way too easy. Ah, that's really intense. Way intense. Let's do some of this. Maybe ink. Might react with that a little bit. Yeah, it is. There we go. Let's see what happens when we pull this. That ink is moving that paint a little bit. Again, another kind of pokey one. I think I'm going to put some just death spray on there. That's not going to hurt it. It's not going to hurt it. That's for sure. Might move some ink or move some paint out of the way. Ooh. Was maybe a little more than I intended on that splotch, but that's okay. We'll see what happens, eh? We shall see what happens. Let's not move it around because it's moving the paint around. It's still wet. We'll see. Might have worked better if this distress was on first. But we'll see what happens, okay? Oh yes, there it is. Oh no, that's not it. I want a different piece of paper than that. There we go. That's removing paint off of the gel plate. There. And do one. All right. Paint's still sticky. Let's see what happens. Now, I'm not a person that tends to put my gel plate to bed completely clean. I like the edges that get left when I don't have complete sheets of paper, or if I don't get, the edges up completely. But yeah. But this will be the last one, so we'll see what happens with this. I hope this one turns out really well. I was pleased with these transfers, with this light transfer paper. Show that again. Look at that sheen on that. And then once I get that glued down on a piece of paper over another image, oh, that's gonna be pretty. Like that. I'm gonna have to do more of those, I think. I need to find some tracing paper. Ooh, better watch if this is gonna go flying away. So, how's this doing? We'll give it, see if I can get more up. And see how the sun is catching up to me again? Like, yeah, there it is, like right there. Let it help dry my pad. That's going to be interesting. But yeah, I got to get in because it's getting hot out here. So this is the kind of stuff that's better done inside. And if it gets too hot, you can't pull anything anyway. So here we go. I have left myself with a beautiful setup for next time. That's got some nice squigglies on there. Some of the gold came off. That's from the other print. But yeah, that's not too bad. Not too bad. I've liked some with more color in it, actually. But yeah, that's got the distress in it too, and the white ink. So I'll have to see if I add some water or something if the distress comes out. Maybe. Can I get another print off of there? Let's try. Let's try. Let's try just a little black. No, a little white. A little white. Since I didn't do this the last time. Okay, whoops. Did that again, guys? Sorry. All right, I don't know if this is gonna work, but let's see. kind of a no longer a white color. One more piece of paper. One more piece of paper. Good thing I did bring some extras. Didn't bring a lot of the tissue though. Should have brought more of that. I don't have a lot of sheets left, but I should have brought more of that. All right, let's get this down before it gets too dry. Because the sun is shining and that paint is drying. I can feel it's absorbing some stuff. It doesn't get it all, Because this is music paper. It's kind of nice that it doesn't get it all. Ooh. I might have to put another full color down on that and see what I can pick up. I lied. I always lie. I always lie. One more time. One more time. We need to get a full... This is just too much left on my plate. And there's a lot of that ink on there, so... Let's see. Let's try this. I've had a good pulls with the copper today. Yeah. Get this down before it dries, like so. Help me get all the rest of it off. I don't know, but it doesn't hurt. Get that paint off the corner there. Go away, wasp. It's just drying too fast to get all the edges, I think. Okay, let's try it this way. Oh yeah, here we go. Yeah, most of the plate is clean. Not bad. I can see some print in there, and the green, and the copper. I like that. Anyways, a successful print. I will put that one there. I do like that. I can see the leaves in it. I do like that. Anyway, successful prints today, guys. Here we are. And that one I really liked. I really liked how this one turned out too. This is another bit of the transfer paper. So, I hope you all enjoyed that little trip, that little bit of experimenting while I was doing some jelly printing and filling up my Painty paper stock. So I hope you come by again. So glad you could have come and stayed and watched for a little while. And if you enjoyed it, I hope that you can share this out to some friends that maybe would like to do some art journaling, craft making, painting, drawing, thrifting, and vintage finding. That's what I do, that's what I love to do, and that's what I share with you all. So thanks for coming by. please give this video a thumbs up, and please subscribe if you do like my content. We'll hope to see you again soon. Thanks all, and bye now. Excuse me, I had to sneeze there, guys. Alrighty, so where was I? So I'm going to put paint down. I'm going to put this on. I'm going to take the circles off with this paint. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift it again with this one. And then we'll use the one with the circles afterwards. So I want to get red paint. Yes, a red paint to do the circles in, because that'll turn out nice on the turquoise, and it will look good with the black behind it. So I think it's around that much. This one's a little thicker, so hopefully it'll roll good. Okay, stick you there for a second, and let's see how this goes. It's a little grainy, but I think I can use it for now. I'm gonna have to get the paint off anyways, so let's just see where it goes with this. It doesn't seem very thick, it's kind of breaking up, but we shall use this, and I'm gonna pick up some of that with this, like that. Stick that on there. I meant to do that with the other thing, but we'll try that. I'm losing paper. Sorry guys, almost lost my paper there. Put that down. Let's see if I can get this side with that. I lost my concentration of what I was planning to do, but we've got some circular shapes on both our papers now. This one is just a start, and this one I'm gonna lift. That paint kind of bothered me. Gonna have to check that. So let's try another one. I think I'm gonna try this purple on here. That's kind of pretty dry. We'll see what happens. And I'll lift that with this. No, I'll lift that with the this is kind of greeny too. This is what they mean by use it or lose it. Okay, build a little more on here. See how it's kind of separating, which I don't like. But it's gonna go on this blue, so let's see if the blue will come through the graininess of it, and yeah, let's see what happens. It's a nice purple though. Okay. What should I try? I think I'm gonna try, let's do this. Just before it all goes away. I'm gonna do that. And I'm gonna do some of that. So we have some purple on there. That. Like so. Okay. That sheet's becoming actually quite nice. I'm gonna go lift this off. Now that's becoming quite interesting with all the blotches of color, don't you think? I do think it's quite interesting actually. Maybe if I took a white, hopefully my white's in good shape, and then I'll put it on. I got a couple of music sheets here. I don't want to put it on that right now because that's going to be really busy. So I can put it on the music sheet. So let's get no, what am I going to do? Yes, I need to put white. Sorry guys, I'm so indecisive. Let's get some light on there and then we'll, oop, sorry. I'm trying to use up my tubes that I have open. I have a couple of unopened tubes still in my craft room. Stay there, sheet. That white separately too. It's lifting up the purple, that's for sure. Let's maybe that wasn't quite dry, but you'll do this. I was starting to see, I was starting to lift it up. Not quite enough. Okay, there we go. This is not my forte, so I just plow along. I get what I get, but I get papers, and that's really what I need. And it doesn't matter what's on them if I change them up a bit and just, you know, do what I need to do. Now, just rolling that off a bit. Sorry, I'm probably making you guys all bounce around again. But here we go. Let's try this on there. Oh, here comes my monster. You can hear him talking to me, maybe. Yes. Okay. I'm gonna let that dry, and I'm gonna let the cat in the house. Hold on. Okay, let's see what comes up when I pull it. Yeah, I was kind of hoping some would stay on there, which is good, because then maybe I can do another lift. I like that. See the circles there, and you can see some of the black and the blue from the previous print, and it's still some on there. So we'll set that aside. Just throw that on top so it stays. Now, I wanted to just kind of go back to this, but this is just going to end up maybe not being anything but what it already is. So we'll see. Okay, I've got some plants yet. This is still interesting. So maybe what I'll do is I'll put some botanicals on there. Yeah. We'll do that. So I'm going to put some botanicals on there, but first of all, I'm going to put, I think, not a green. We're going to put in the phthalo green. But the purple and the white might be interesting. Maybe I'll have to do a little mix of this with some white, I think. Tone it down a bit. So let's shake this up, considering what my paints have been like the last couple of ones I pulled out, huh? There, at least paint. It looks pretty good, actually. And my white wasn't too bad. Let's put a tiny bit of yellow in there, just to, before I put the white in. Hold on, see? This is quite closed, I guess. Let's do this. There we go. Oh, yeah, that's better. Oops. Paint skin. That's about as much yellow I actually want, so that's good. And then we'll put in the white. and we'll spread around, and I'll put some plants on it. Okay. Put that roller in there for a minute. It's getting a little sticky. I have another one. Where'd it go? Hold on, I have it. Well, that was the great paper escape, I would say. So, anyways, let's get some of this down. And then I'll put some plants on top, and we'll see what kind of paper impressions I can get from that. See, that's turned into that light aqua color. Well, that was kind of dumb, wasn't it? Could have just used the other paint. Anyways, let's lay a few of these babies down. We can do this. I've got this one here. And this one here. And right now I'm just gonna put this on top to kind of get up that paint that I can. I'm gonna take my roll off sheet. Yep. Alright, that's good. Stuck there. Take my roll off sheet. Take off that extra paint. It's getting a little dry. That's all right. So let's see, we'll take that. Okay, not bad. I got a little extra pattern on those dots that, you know, it turned out to be the same color, so it didn't turn out as great as I would like. But I got a great plant impression there. And I think this one turned out just as nice. And I'm going to take these on that piece of paper that I already had, and I bet you it's, yay! Stuck to another piece of paper. I don't know if this is going to work. Let's see. I don't know if that paint is going to come off the leaf or not. You probably can't see me doing this. No, it didn't. But I can still use that leaf. So we'll put that there. Lie you down. Stick that on there. Now I've got some nice pattern on there. I like that. Maybe I'll even put some more of the of those leaf pattern, but in a different leaf. Maybe this flower. I could put this flower right there. I don't think I will. No, I don't think so. I think we'll just leave it the way it is and see how that comes up. I'll try the flower and the other after this. So what am I going to pick this up with? Well, I think against that, let's try some ink for just a bit. I've got this luscious pearlescent ink. Yeah, I have some luscious pearlescent ink that I had put on some of my papers here. There we go. Let's see how that comes up on this page. So I'm going to put some pearlescent ink on here. And then once the ink dries, we'll put some paint on it too, okay? Because it really does shine. pieces of leaf on there too still, so. Okay, that should dry pretty quickly. And I think, no, I want something that's going to contrast it. So I think this purple's going to come up again. And we're just going to be wild and crazy. Oh, there's a couple of leaf things on here. Come on, you too. Come on. There we go. All right, and then I'm going to use that. And then I'm going to use that paper that I had. They're trying to blow away again. Use this one that I had dyed on this plate. I kind of move out of the way every once in a while, don't I? Anyways, there's the purple. Purple down, paper in hand, that's locked down. Let's proceed. I don't know if the ink was quite dry, but that's okay. Get out of the way. Box. Let's see what happens here. I want to put it on this side. Yes. So you can see this paper is very thin, so it soaks that up really fast. It's just note paper. And I don't know if this will do anything, but we'll see if it does. Might come up in the next print, who knows? Hold on. Chasing papers. I keep weighing them down, but the wind sneaks underneath. Okay. Go there. Let's see how this is doing. You can see the sun's starting to sneak up on me here too, because it's coming. I'm facing kind of northwest. Oh, I like how this is looking. Oh, and I can see my scribbles in it too. I can see that my scribbles in this paper, and I can see my scribbles on the plate. Cool. There, you can see the leaves. A little bit over here. Those are pretty thin, but you can kind of see the outlines there. Let's try that bigger flower. I like that on that paper though. I think it gives it a different color. And I think the sheen kind of got maybe a little lost, but it's cool. I like it. You can go right there. All right, that's got some color on it. What are we gonna do with it? How about more plants? Except, should we put it on black? Yeah, put the plants on black and then have the plants come out in like yellow or something like that. So we gotta get ready. I'm gonna have those same plants and oh, make this a little thicker because I'm gonna take some of it off anyways. Put that there. I'm gonna use one of those daisies on this, and then maybe what I'll do is I'll put yellow in the background. in the daisy areas and put green in the background in the leaf areas that I managed to pick up. So let's try this. Daisy, 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 give me your answer too. I'm happy. It will be a stylish marriage. I can't afford a carriage. Did you look sweet upon a seat of a bicycle for two? Hey, there we go. I'm pretty sure that's not copyrighted anymore. Let's do this and get some flower impressions on this copy sheet. It's just plain old copy paper that I have here at the moment. I'm just trying to get as much of the black off as I can around the plants. Now what I'm going to do is that. Now what I'm going to do, pull off some of the other paint too. It's going to make it a little smaller and be a little more selective in where I'm pressing down. And see if I can get off a little more of this paint here. This paint here. There and there and there. Let's stick that under there. Paper towel that I can use too. But it's getting really sunny. Hold on, I gotta move this table.